Hey leaders, have you ever found yourself in a situation where something just doesn't sit right at work, but the thought of reporting it feels overwhelming? What if that issue involves senior management? What if you fear retaliation, job loss, or even being labeled a troublemaker? Well, today we're diving into a crucial topic that every employee, especially leaders like you, should understand. How to report senior management to HR without fear. You know, one of the things I really admire about my brother Hank is his unwavering sense of justice. He's always been the first one to speak up against unfairness, even when it's uncomfortable. And that got me thinking about the workplace. So often we hear stories about toxic work environments, harassment, or even discrimination, and it can be incredibly intimidating to speak up, especially when the person responsible is in a position of power. But here's the thing. You have rights. In the United States, we have laws like the Whistleblower Protection Act. This act is like a shield for employees who report illegal or unethical behavior in their workplace. It's designed to protect you from retaliation, meaning your employer can't legally fire you, demote you, or otherwise punish you for speaking out against wrongdoing. But even with these protections in place, I know it can still be scary to take that step. It's important to remember that your voice matters. By speaking up, you're not just advocating for yourself, you're potentially protecting others from experiencing the same thing. HR departments are equipped to investigate these kinds of situations. They have processes in place to gather evidence, interview witnesses, and determine whether or not a policy has been violated. You know, one of the things I've learned from writing books is the importance of keeping track of details. It's not just about jotting down random thoughts, it's about creating a comprehensive record that you can refer back to. Whether it's a character's name, a plot point, or even just a random thought, I've found that writing it down makes all the difference. It helps in maintaining continuity and ensuring that nothing important slips through the cracks. And this principle applies to so many other areas of life, especially when it comes to dealing with difficult situations at work. Keeping detailed records can be a game changer. Imagine this. You're facing a situation with a senior manager that makes you uncomfortable. It could be a subtle comment, a questionable decision, or a recurring pattern of behavior that just doesn't sit right with you. Maybe it's a comment they made, a decision they took, or a pattern of behavior that feels off. These moments can be fleeting, but their impact can linger. In the heat of the moment, it's easy to brush it off, to tell yourself it's not a big deal. You might think you're overreacting or that it's not worth the trouble. But then, as time goes by, you can't shake the feeling that something's not right. That nagging doubt can grow, making you question your initial reaction. This is where documentation becomes crucial. It's not just about writing things down, it's about creating a reliable record that you can refer back to. It's like creating a paper trail of what happened, when it happened, and who was involved. This trail can be invaluable when you need to recall specific details. Think of it like keeping a journal, but instead of writing about your day, you're documenting specific incidents related to the situation at hand. This can include dates, times, locations, and the people involved. For example, instead of just writing, "My boss made me uncomfortable in the meeting today," try something like this. During the marketing meeting on July 12th at 2 p.m., my supervisor's name, made a comment about my appearance that made me feel uncomfortable. He said, quote, in front of the following colleagues, list of names. This level of detail can make a significant difference. This kind of detailed documentation not only helps you remember the incident clearly but also strengthens your case if you ever need to report it to HR or take legal action. It provides a clear and concise account of what transpired. Think of it like gathering evidence for a court case. The more evidence you have to support your claims, the stronger your case becomes. I repeat, the more evidence you have to support your claims, the stronger your case becomes. Detailed documentation can be your strongest ally, and in this case, your documentation is your evidence. It serves as a tangible record that can back up your statements. It provides a timeline of events, corroborates your account, and helps HR understand the full context of the situation. This can be crucial in ensuring that your concerns are taken seriously. But documentation isn't just about building a case, it's also about protecting yourself. It can serve as a safeguard against potential retaliation or misunderstandings. In some cases, the person you're reporting might try to deny or downplay the situation. They might claim that it never happened, or that you're misinterpreting their actions. This is where having detailed documentation can be incredibly helpful. It provides a clear and objective account that can counter any attempts to dismiss your concerns. Chapter 3. Understand the process. One of the things I find fascinating about history is how systems and processes evolve over time. Like, take the postal service, for example. It used to take weeks, even months, for a letter to travel across the country. Now, thanks to innovations in transportation and technology, we can send messages around the world in seconds. The same goes for systems within organizations like the Human Resources Department or HR. It's not just about hiring and firing anymore. HR plays a crucial role in creating a safe and productive work environment for everyone. And understanding how HR operates, especially when it comes to reporting sensitive issues, can make all the difference in navigating these situations effectively. Think of HR as a mediator, a neutral party whose job is to investigate complaints fairly and impartially. They're not there to take sides but to gather information, assess the situation, and determine the appropriate course of action based on company policy and legal guidelines. Think of it like this: if you were building a house, you wouldn't just start slapping bricks together without a plan, right? You'd need blueprints, permits, inspections, a whole system in place to ensure the structural integrity of your home. Similarly, HR processes are there to provide a framework for addressing workplace issues in a consistent and equitable manner. This helps protect both employees and the organization from potential legal ramifications down the line. So, what does this process typically look like? Well, it usually starts with filing a formal complaint. This can involve filling out paperwork, submitting documentation, or meeting with an HR representative to discuss your concerns. Don't be intimidated by this process. Think of it as an opportunity to share your story, present your evidence, and ensure that your voice is heard. HR is there to listen, to guide you through the process, and to answer any questions you might have. Once you've filed a complaint, HR will typically conduct an investigation. This might involve interviewing you, the person you're reporting, and any potential witnesses. They might also review documentation, emails, or any other relevant materials to get a comprehensive understanding of the situation. Once the investigation is complete, HR will determine the appropriate course of action. This could range from mediation between you and the other party to disciplinary action against the person you reported. The goal is to resolve the issue in a way that is fair and just for all parties involved. By understanding this process, you can better navigate the complexities of workplace dynamics and ensure that your concerns are addressed appropriately. Chapter 4: Anonymous Reporting. One of the things I love about the internet is the potential for anonymity. It allows people to express themselves freely, share their thoughts and feelings without fear of judgment or reprisal. And while anonymity online can sometimes have its downsides, it can also be an incredibly powerful tool for good. Think about whistleblowers, for example. These are individuals who risk their careers, their reputations, even their safety, to expose wrongdoing within organizations, and often, anonymity is the only way they can do it safely. Now, I'm not suggesting that everyone needs to become a whistleblower, but the principle of anonymity can be applied to less extreme situations as well, especially when it comes to reporting sensitive issues in the workplace. Many companies now offer anonymous reporting mechanisms as a way for employees to voice concerns without fear of retaliation. It's like having a confidential tip line where you can report unethical behavior, policy violations, or even just share feedback without revealing your identity. Now, I know what you might be thinking: John, if it's anonymous, how can they actually investigate and take action? And that's a valid question. Think of it like this. Imagine you're a detective investigating a crime. You receive an anonymous tip that leads you to a crucial piece of evidence. While you might not know the identity of the tipster, the information they provided helps you solve the case. Similarly, anonymous reports in the workplace can provide valuable insights into potential issues that might otherwise go unnoticed. It allows employees to raise red flags without the fear of being identified or facing negative consequences. Chapter 5: Be ready for retaliation. When I think about the concept of retaliation, my mind often goes back to ancient myths and stories, like the tale of Prometheus, who stole fire from the gods to give to humanity, and was punished eternally for his transgression. Or the story of Arachne, the weaver who dared to challenge the goddess Athena, and was transformed into a spider for her hubris. These stories, while fictional, highlight a very real human tendency: the desire for revenge, the urge to strike back when we feel wronged or challenged. And unfortunately, this tendency can manifest in the workplace as well, particularly when it comes to reporting misconduct or challenging authority. Despite laws and policies designed to protect employees who speak up, retaliation remains a very real concern. It can take many forms, from subtle acts of exclusion or undermining to more overt actions like demotions, pay cuts, or even termination. Now, I'm not saying this to scare you, but to prepare you. Because knowledge is power, and understanding the potential for retaliation can help you navigate these situations with more awareness and resilience. So, what are some signs of retaliation? Well, it can be as subtle as a change in tone or attitude from your supervisor, being excluded from important meetings or projects, or receiving unwarranted negative performance reviews. Or, it can be more overt, like being passed over for a promotion, having your hours cut, or being given impossible deadlines or tasks designed to set you up for failure. Now, it's important to remember that not every negative experience after reporting misconduct is necessarily retaliation. Sometimes it's just a coincidence, or it might be related to other factors unrelated to your report. However, being aware of the signs can help you differentiate between genuine retaliation and other unrelated issues. This awareness can empower you to take appropriate action if needed, ensuring that you are not unfairly targeted for doing the right thing. Closing statement: creating a safe workplace for everyone. By reporting unethical or harmful behavior, you're not just protecting yourself, you're helping create a better, safer work environment for everyone. When employees speak up, it fosters transparency, accountability, and trust within the organization. You may feel scared or unsure about speaking up, but trust that your action can have a ripple effect, not just in your workplace, but in broader society. As Martin Luther King Jr. once said, "Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere." When you stand up for what's right, you contribute to a just workplace where everyone can thrive. So, what are your thoughts? Have you ever been in a situation where you needed to report someone in senior management? How did you handle it? I'd love to hear your stories and any advice you have for others in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit that like button, share it with someone who might need it, and subscribe for more tips and leadership strategies. We've got your back, and we'll see you in the next video.